Good morning, reluctant men. So, I want to challenge you this morning. I want to encourage you, if you're born again, if you're a believer, to start a YouTube channel. Hear me out. I know, you're probably going, no way. I'm not comfortable being on camera. I don't really like to talk. I don't like to explain things. So, hear me out where I'm going with this. I think sometimes as a believer in this crazy, crazy world, we can all feel like we're so alone, right? Even among believers, right? Like sometimes it just feels like there's just weird things there. And if you love the Lord, and if your heart is bothered by what you see in the world and what is being said, then certainly this is going to resonate with you. That you can feel like you're all alone. And so don't think of YouTube as like, well, this is something where you can make money. Forget about that. Forget about the idea of, well, I don't like how it's weird being on camera, or I don't like how my voice sounds. Forget all that. Just think of it as sharing your faith, right? Sharing what that hope is that God put inside you, and in a way that maybe it's hard to go up to a person in the street, maybe it's hard to talk to coworkers, and YouTube can be an avenue where you can share your story, where you can share your faith story, how you came to Christ and what Christ has done for you in your life, and you can let it be out there and let God use it for His glory. Okay, so that's my encouragement to you. My other encouragement to you is, as I talk about when we feel completely alone sometimes, and trust me, I have these feelings all the time where, boy, it's weird out there, right? But how many times have you ran into people and you have a conversation, and then somehow through that conversation you figure out that they're a believer, and you are encouraged with that? So it reminds me of the story. This is from 1 Kings 19 of Elijah, and this is right after God miraculously shows Israel through Elijah that He is the God, and then they slaughter all the prophets of Baal. And then chapter 19 starts out, and I'll just read a couple of verses here. Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. And then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, so may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by this time tomorrow. Then he was afraid, and he arose and ran for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. And he himself went on a day's journey into the wilderness. So this is this story where you see this man of God who, not through his own power, but through God using him, he delivers this miraculous deliverance for the people and helps them understand who God is. And the very next day, he is fearing for his life and he's running away. And one of the things he says, a little bit later in the chapter, I'm not going to read all that, but God comes to him. God encourages him because he's suicidal, and he's like, "Lord, take me. This is too much. I've already done way more than." And so God comes to him and he says, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And he said, "I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts. Hopefully you are too, as I am, and where the wickedness stirs your heart and it bothers you deeply. For the people of Israel have forsaken my covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. So even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away." Right? Do you hear that? I'm the only one. I am the only one left, and they're seeking to kill me. So you and I may feel completely alone, And yet God answers him in verse 18. He says, "Yet I will leave 7,000 in Israel, all the knees that have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." So God reveals to him that in addition to him, God has 7,000 in Israel that have not. And so sometimes as believers, we can feel like we're so alone. This world is going crazy. And all the loud voices out there are all speaking against God, and they're speaking evil. And so that is my encouragement to you. Start a YouTube channel so that you can be that additional voice of reason to encourage another believer. Doesn't matter how well you talk. If you post more videos, you will get better at it. That's exactly what I'm doing. And if you've listened to this far, you know that I'm not some speaker and not some polished orator, but I have Christ. He is my Lord and Savior. And I want to tell that message to everyone that will come across these videos that I post. And I want to, more than anything, encourage you as a believer to do the same and to share your story and to share what Christ has done so that more and more will be encouraged. And if you're not a believer and you're watching this, Jesus Christ is the only way to get to God, right? There's all these religions, there's all these fake ways out there that everybody will tell you. But Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Right? It's extremely exclusive, and you should pay attention to that. So either that offends you because it doesn't sound very inclusive, or it's the truth, and ultimately it doesn't matter what our feelings are, and it only matters what Jesus said. So may this be an encouragement for you. Create a channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Record some videos and tell your testimony and share your story. And to God be the glory. We'll see you next time.